Ben's first. He says, "Hey Bradley, is using Serp Shaker still a viable approach to creating lead gen properties to rent out? It would seem if I can deal with making each page somewhat unique and having some quality incoming links to a few of the category pages, then I would have a value properties going to hang around for a while." What are your thoughts about this? Yeah, it is, Ben. Any sort of those mass page generator builders, and there's several of them now. Yeah, if you want to use them to generate lead gen properties or to build lead gen properties, you certainly can. I recommend using an overlay or plugin though, or something like that, to where you can make them look pretty, because the default, I guess you can install a theme or whatever like that. But typically what I'll do with those type of sites is build a landing page that's on a different domain or on a subdomain or something like that, or even within ClickFunnels, and just use the ClickFunnels URL for the landing page and use that as an overlay, because those sites by themselves, typically they look like crap, and it's because it's junk content on them too, that kind of stuff. I mean, if you're using a piece of content that you added spin tags to so that it can be used across hundreds or even thousands of pages, then it's pretty much crappy content. And so I recommend that if you're going to use it to rank, that's great, but use an overlay plugin. Do not, by all means, do not overlay your money site page on top of one of those sites, because that's cloaking and it can get your site de-indexed, both the underlying site and the overlay site. I know, because I've had it happen. So I recommend, that's why I say always build a landing page on a subdomain or another domain entirely, like a throwaway domain, or use something like ClickFunnels or something like that, lead pages or something. And then, but yeah, you can still do it. I found that for a lot of like local stuff, depending on the keywords, where I find the most success with those kind of sites for local stuff is if you build out the sites using a long list of long tail keywords, so that you're generating a page for each long tail keyword plus a local modifier for all the municipalities, townships, cities, all of that around the entire service area of the business, if that makes sense. So you can generate, like, let's say you had a list of 100 long tail keywords, and you had 5 cities or townships, municipalities, whatever you want to call them, that you wanted to target, then you would end up building the site. It would target all 5 cities times 100 keywords for each city. So it would end up being a 500-page site, if that makes sense. That's where I found it to be the most effective, is because a lot of the short tail stuff, they don't seem to rank as well, because local is becoming more competitive, at least in organic it is. If that makes sense. Anyone want to comment on that?
No, I've taken the same route when it comes to some other plugins like, well, Lead Gadget, for example, or Mass Page Creator, which would be plain HTML sites. The reality is that whatever change that you need to do with that plugin, it's really cool, because it's lightweight. You do not need to handle databases and those kind of things. But whatever change you need to do the website all over again.
Yeah.
And the reality is that I've gone through not the entirely lead gen property or renting out property, but rather the Amazon/affiliate way. And for me, it was a complete waste of time, because you have to be dealing with the indexing, and you need to be dealing with, Amazon account shutdown and those kind of things, which is, a completely waste of time, in my opinion. But if you keep it, I think if you keep it like really high quality, and again, you follow Bradley's advice, you use Serp Shaker or Lead Gadget to create the whole structure or the skeleton of the website, which will save you a ton of time. But then you go and add some value, change the content, etc. That will be a much more viable approach, because each website will be much more valuable to rent out, and you can actually ask more money for it, because it's not just pouring garbage over and over again. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that I would take it. If you go for, 300 pages, 500 pages, that's fine. I was doing, 30,000, even to 500,000 pages, which was really pushing it. So, but if you keep it, short and to the point and to that municipality, I think you would be fine. So,
yeah, and also, if one thing, and I've done this, you can use, like, for example, a Yelp listing for the business. You can use that as an overlay, right? I mean, it's better to have a landing page because the landing page has no distractions on it, and it's got a clear call to action that literally is, you know, for local businesses, typically either make a phone call or submit a contact request form or both. But, you know, you can, if you don't have a landing page builder or whatever, and I've done it just for testing purposes where I've gone out and built a bunch of pages with long tail keywords, trying to target areas just to see if it would work. And in the meantime, slapped a Yelp listing for the business on it. So the overlay, like, it literally is hundreds of pages out there that when the visitor visits, it will show the Yelp page. So that's just kind of a shortcut. Instead of going out and building a landing page and taking the time to do that, just try to rank the site first and use an overlay for something like Yelp or the Google My Business listing or something like that, you know, and I haven't tried it with that, but why not, you know, give it a shot. And then if you start to see some results, then you can always go back through and create an actual landing page to overlay instead.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, and just another thing that I wanted to add, Bradley, that I've seen a lot of people doing this is that they will put out big Serp Shaker kind of sites, and they will link back to or use some sort of call to action or banners or whatever. At some point, they will even do 301s, for example, when the website is ranking. I would advise against that. But, you know, if you have like several feeder sites, like Serp Shaker sites that they will feed traffic into a main website.
Yeah.
Like, and that main website could be very well the one that's turning visitors into leads, you know, so you do not need, I mean, the main website, the main moneymaker will not be, you wouldn't be worrying about getting that de-index or whatever. Because it's not
sending people from a banner or something instead of a direct overlay.
Yes.
That's what you're saying. Right?
Yes, that's what I mean. Yeah.
All right. And he said, you know, building links to category pages. I've never built any links to any of those types of sites because I always look at those as short-term sites. Like, I don't expect any of those sites to last for any, you know, significant amount of time. So I never do any off-page site SEO to those sites, guys. You can if you want. And I know that some people do, and that's fine. But to me, I hate doing rework. I hate doing stuff that I end up, you know, losing later on. And so I just never built any links. I did strictly on-page stuff, and that was it. So it's up to you. If you want to try it, Ben, by all means, test. Okay.